47 ABC News Special Report.
6 more months until the murder trial of Matthew Burton. Up until about 2 weeks ago, it wasn't clear when he would face a jury for the alleged rape and murder of Nicole Bennett of Millsboro, Delaware. As of right now, 4.5 years have passed since she was killed, and now the latest postponement just adds to the already long list of delays. In a 47 ABC special investigative report, we took a look at the court documents from Maryland and Delaware and sought legal analysis to find out what is taking so long for this particular case to get to trial.
Just off of Route 113 in Georgetown, Delaware, sits Sussex Correctional Institution. Somewhere inside of these barbed wire fences is 32-year-old Matthew Burton of Dagsboro. Any number of times a day, transport vans shuttle prisoners in and out of those fences for hearings and for trial. But Burton is not one of those inmates, and he won't be for some time, it appears. His trial is now scheduled for May 8th, 2017, delayed from October 3rd of this year. This summer, a Superior Court judge approved a defense request for a continuance, a move some legal experts feel is concerning.
There is a slogan out there, justice delayed is justice denied. This case is not quite there yet.
John Brady is a licensed attorney with 25 years of legal experience in the state of Delaware. He's been on both sides, defense and prosecution, but currently he's the clerk of the peace as well as the chief deputy register of wills in Sussex County. He agreed to give us some legal insight on this case.
In terms of your experience with cases in the state of Delaware, have you ever seen any case like this one?
No. I've never seen a case with all these different hoops to jump through.
Matthew Burton currently faces 3 felony charges in Delaware. 2 counts, murder in the first, 1 count, first-degree rape. Sounds clear-cut, but this case is anything but. Nicole Bennett's loved ones last heard from her at 7:40 the night of June 14th, 2012. She was working late at Bayshore Community Church in Gumboro, Delaware. That next morning, her husband reported her missing. It wasn't long after that investigators located her body face down on an embankment near Swamp Road in Worcester County. And the fact that they found her just over the state line in Maryland is what appears to be causing much of the setbacks in this case.
I've heard it referred to as the perfect storm of delays in this case. Would you agree to that?
Unfortunately, yes. It has been a perfect storm. If there was anything possible that could delay this trial, it has.
Because of where they found her body, investigators initially believed that this crime was committed in Maryland. An autopsy on June 16th reportedly determined she was killed by asphyxiation. 3 weeks later, on July 6th, the State Forensics Lab contacted investigators letting them know that DNA evidence positively links Matthew Burton to the body of Nicole Bennett. And he was arrested that same day near Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. It would be more than a month before a Superior Court judge would order Burton sent from Delaware to Maryland for trial. According to the Worcester County indictment, Burton faced 8 felony charges, including murder, rape, and kidnapping. But another month would pass before his arraignment in Worcester County Court, and that was just the beginning of delays. 3 postponed criminal motions hearings, and then there were the trial dates, one scheduled for December 2012 and then postponed, another set in February 2013, postponed, and then in June, postponed. There were 2 hearings and a trial date scheduled for the fall, but those were canceled when Delaware State Police provided evidence that reportedly proved the rape and murder happened at the church in Delaware. And in August 2013, a Sussex County grand jury indicted him. The state of Maryland dropped their charges against Burton, and an arrest warrant was issued to have him extradited back to Delaware. But Burton's lawyers appealed and effectively kept him in Maryland through 2014. And it was February 4th, 2015, that Burton was finally back in Delaware. At his arraignment, he pleaded not guilty. According to the Delaware court's guidelines on a defendant's right to a speedy trial, capital murder cases in Delaware must be tried and or otherwise adjudicated within 1 year from the date of indictment. Again, that indictment was August 2013. Brady tells us certain factors, such as extradition, made it possible for more than 3 years to go by without violating that speedy trial directive.
So the extradition to Maryland stopped the clock.
Correct.
Then the extradition to Delaware stopped the clock.
Right.
And then the stay on the case.
Stop the clock. And every defense request for continuance stops the clock.
Now, once Burton was indicted in Delaware, a Superior Court judge, state prosecutors, and public defenders were assigned to this case, and they were all tasked with getting up to speed as quickly as possible. But over the past 3 years, the case changed hands many times. Tomorrow night, in the second half of this special report, we'll explain how this led to more delays. Also, we'll tell you what state prosecutors and Burton's defense team, that is, have to say about all of this. And of course, we've covered this story extensively, even talking to the Bennett family. If you missed any of that, make sure to check it out on our website. That's 47abc.com.
47 ABC News Special Report.
Our special report, Waiting for Justice, takes a look at the slow-moving first-degree murder case of 32-year-old Matthew Burton. By the time this case actually goes to trial, which is now set for May 8th of 2017, nearly 5 years will have passed since the rape and murder of Nicole Bennett of Millsboro, Delaware. Well, last night, we explained the many steps it took to get Burton's case moved to Delaware. And tonight, we're picking up where we left off with his indictment by a Sussex County grand jury and the delays that soon followed.
Although he's accused of a murder and rape, which happened nearly 4.5 years ago in 2012, Matthew Burton's fate is still far from decided. Over the past 3 years alone, his case changed hands many times. Once Burton was indicted in Delaware, a Superior Court judge, state prosecutors, and public defenders were assigned to this case, and they were all tasked with getting up to speed as quickly as possible. A trial date was set for April 11th, 2016. However, 1 year before that, the Delaware Attorney General's office let the court know that they were assigning a new set of prosecutors to this case, and the public defender's office saw movement as well. 3 attorneys withdrew, 2 were assigned, and a total of 4 judges have had this case. One after another, the first 3 were assigned and withdrew for conflicts. All of this shuffling is partly to blame for the trial date being pushed back another 6 months. But Delaware attorney John Brady admits this happens in many legal proceedings.
We're a small state in Delaware. There are times when you have a judge that has a conflict.
Judge E. Scott Bradley took over the case in April 2016, a year and 2 months after Burton was extradited to the first state. In a letter to Supreme Court Judge Leo Strine, Bradley acknowledged that the case went over that 1-year speedy trial deadline, a right given to those accused of capital murder. Bradley stated in that letter that he was hopeful that the trial will start on October 3rd, 2016. The case file documents show the state prosecutors did ask for time extensions a handful of times to respond to defense requests and motions in this case. However, it was the public defender's office that asked for a continuance, which Judge Bradley granted on July 14th, 2016. That canceled out the October 3rd trial date this year. The reason why this does not interfere with the 1-year speedy trial limitation is because of the February 2016 stay on all first-degree murder cases in Delaware. It ordered that all those cases be placed on hold while the Delaware Supreme Court decided whether the state's death penalty statute is unconstitutional, which it did. That was 6 months later. This took the death penalty out of play in all pending first-degree murder cases, including Burton's. But he still faces a considerable amount of time behind bars if convicted. Murder in the first carries a punishment of 15 years to life in prison. First-degree rape, also 15 to life. Considering this, Brady believes there is a chance the state may be working out a plea deal with the defense.
The courts are getting a little more that you try and resolve the case by making a plea offer at some point.
He believes this might be the easiest way for the victim's family to get closure and avoid a painful and lengthy trial.
But I think the family would be best served if they can wrap up those outstanding motions and move the case forward either to a trial or to a plea.
47 ABC requested interviews with members of the defense and prosecution in this case. The Office of Defense Services declined an on-camera interview, but sent us this letter, which reads, "We recognize that this case has taken a long time to get to trial and that the delay is troublesome, not only to the family of Nicole Bennett, but also to Matthew Burton and his family. That said, the prosecution and the defense have thus far consented to the delays." Delaware Attorney General Matt Denn and the prosecutors he has on this case also turned down the opportunity to speak to us on camera and emailed their own statement. Due to the upcoming trial and the restrictions on our office about what can be said regarding a pending case, it is not appropriate for anyone from DOJ to participate in an interview about the case at this time. The Department of Justice has been committed to responsibly prosecuting Matthew Burton and achieving justice for Nicole Bennett and her family. Our prosecutors will continue to pursue that goal and will continue to keep Ms. Bennett's family fully informed about the status of the case.
When this much time passes, what is the concern for prosecutors?
You may have mislaid evidence. Memories disappear. You also may have police officers who've retired. When time takes as long as it does, 4 to 5 years, there may be things that come up, and some witnesses could have the ultimate. They could have passed. And so that you may not be able to have them to be able to testify.
There are many uncertainties in this case. Although a trial date is set for May, there is still the possibility of another postponement. But if the trial does go on and if Burton is convicted, what we do know for sure is that no matter the sentence, there is no early parole in the state of Delaware. But there is a Board of Pardons, which has the power to commute sentences.
So it is always within the realm of possibility. Now, does that realm of possibility fall down to probability? You got a better chance of getting hit by lightning than getting a commutation for a murder case.
47 ABC has been covering Matthew Burton's case since 2012, and we will continue to follow it through sentencing and perhaps beyond. If you would like to see part 1 of the special report or any part of our past coverage, which includes emotional interviews with Nicole Bennett's family, we have that included in our online content under the special report banner, Waiting for Justice.